Welcome to Realm Painters. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to paint the Scinari Cathallar, which will be the last model in this Lumineth Spearhead series. This is a pretty straightforward tutorial, however this model compared to the others will take some more time. However, I think you can do it. If you by chance haven't seen our other videos for the Lumineth Spearhead series, we'll go ahead and put all the links with the previous videos in the description down below. But other than that, let's get right to painting. Before we get to painting, I like to prime the model with Citadel Wraithbone. Now let's get started with the face. We're trying to give the effect of a veil over her face, so I'll use Kislev mixed with Blue Horror to base coat her face. Then add a small mix of Cadian Flesh Tone to the previous mixture to shade some details onto her face. This will include the sides of her nose, under the brow bone, underside of the top lip, and her cheekbones. Then with a mix of Wraithbone and Blue Horror, highlight the bridge of her nose, upper cheeks, and upper side of the bottom lip. Now with dried bark and a thin brush, draw on her eyelash line since her eyes are closed. And if you'd like, also add her eyebrows on her brow bone. Before we continue onto the veil, let's quickly paint her hands and feet by base coating them with Kislev Flesh. Then with Cadian Flesh Tone, add shadows into the creases of the fingers and toes, as well as adding shading where the skin meets the cloth. Then, with a mix of Kislev and Wraithbone, highlight all of the digits and top of her hand holding the necklace. Next up, we'll continue with the veil by base coating in Fenrisian Grey. Also, carefully add this to the veil wrinkles across her face. Then with Blue Horror, highlight all of the wrinkles in the veil, including the wrinkles on the face. I also like to glaze this near the edge of her face to smooth out the skin transition to the veil. We'll continue onto her hair by base coating it in Abaddon Black. Then with Eshin Grey, add thicker highlights along the top of her head and braid. Then with Dawnstone, add thinner highlights through the hair. Next with Retributor Gold, paint the crown and the braid cuff. Then with Rakelin, wash all of the gold. Once it's all dry, use Liberator Gold to add spot highlights. Now we can start on our headpiece by using slightly watered down white to paint the intersections of this front piece. Then with watered down Agrax, let it pool in each section in order to get the dark outlines around the white. Also, don't forget to do the back side of it as well. I almost did, so just make sure you don't forget. Once that fully dries, we'll continue on with Liberator Gold to paint the majority of the headpiece, which will include the back section and front section. Make sure you don't include this middle symbol since we'll paint that in Retributor Gold. Then, we'll highlight the Liberator sections with Runefang Steel to give the gold a cooler tone. Next up, let's paint these beads, starting with a base coat of lilac. Then with a mix of white, make a gradient on the beads where it's dark on the bottom to light on top. Then paint the bead caps with Retributor Gold. While we're on this color, we'll go ahead and highlight these and the Retributor symbol in the middle with Liberator Gold. Lastly, onto the string connectors, base coat them in Teclis Blue, followed by a highlight of Lothern Blue, and the head is complete. Up next is her clothing. We'll start this off by base coating her dress in Cantor Blue, which will take a few coats until you get full coverage. Don't forget to paint the middle layer on the underside of her dress and the bottom of her sleeves with Cantor as well. Then with watered down Teclis Blue, let's add some big area highlights including the thighs showing through her skirt and the tops of her shoulders and chest. Then going back with Teclis and Cantor, smooth out these highlights in the folds of the fabric. Then with pure Lothern blue, add highlights on the upper wrinkles on the front and back of the dress. We'll continue onto the dress by painting the trim on her skirt and sleeves with blue horror. Not gonna lie, this will take a while and you may need to clean up with some Cantor, but with some patience and determination, I know you can do it. I certainly tried. Also make sure to paint the most inner layers of her dress on the bottom with Fenrisian Grey. Now that we got the dress down, let's continue with the accessories by using watered down white on the base section of her waist, followed by full white on the long beads on her necklace. Make sure once her waist is dry to outline it with Agrax Earthshade, as well as the indent between the long and short beads. Next up, paint the main metallic section on her waist piece with Liberator Gold. Then with Runefang Steel, edge highlight the Liberator. Now with Retchbeater Gold, paint the symbols on her waist, the small beads on the necklace, and the tassel connector. Then let's give all this Retchbeater Gold a wash of Rakeland, followed by a highlight of Liberator Gold. Now all that's left of the clothes will be the waist corset piece in the back and the blue tassels. We'll start with the leather corset by base coating that with Dryad Bark. Then with Steel Legion, highlight the edges. Then base coat all 5 tassels and strings on the corset with Teclis Blue. Lastly, with Lothern Blue, highlight the tassel strands in the corset string. And her clothing is complete! Now onto the plate, we'll start off by the plate itself by using watered down white to base all of the panes. Then with Agrax Earthshade, outline each pane. Also make sure to include an outline on the bulbs around the plate. Once that's dried, use Liberator Gold to paint the trim on the top and bottom of the plate, and make sure to paint the inside of it where the smoke and coins sit. Next up, base coat the handle in corn red. Then with a mix of corn and a tiny bit of white, highlight the bottom and top of the handle. Then use Runefang Steel to highlight the edges of the Liberator Gold. Now onto the items on the plate. We'll start off with the relics inside by painting them with Retributor Gold. Then give that all a wash of Rakelin Fleshshade. Then with Lothern Blue, paint the middle section of some of these relics that aren't producing smoke. Now that we got the main part of the plate done, let's start painting the smoke with a base coat of Dark Reaper. Then with Thunderhawk Blue, you can either dry brush the smoke texture or paint it on normally like how I'm doing right now. Then with Fenrisian, paint smaller highlights and little highlight dots throughout the smoke, and the plate is complete! Before we start painting the terrain, you can add basing material now so you don't need to worry about cleaning up the model terrain later on. After the terrain texture is fully dry, let's continue on by base coating the stone with Administratum Gray. Then add shading to the rock by using some watered down Nighthaunt Gloom. This should both tint the rock while getting shading in the cracks and crevices. Once the paint is fully dry, we'll go back with Administratum Gray and lightly dry brush over the stone in order to bring back the lighter tone in the raised edges. Lastly, with Deepkin Flesh, do another dry brushing on the edges. Now all we need to do is paint the grass next to the stone with a base coat of Sandry Dust. Then with Ushabti Bone, highlight the greens on top of the grass, as well as highlight the grass edges. And the model's complete! now wrapping up the series, your Lumineth Spearhead is complete. Or at least a couple of your models are. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. I had a pretty relaxing time painting the Cathallar, except for the trim. That was another story. It was relaxing. It took a while, a very long while, but overall the model was a really good time to paint. But if you want to see more Spearhead or Combat Patrol tutorials, just let us know with the comments down below. We both have such a good time painting them. If you want to see more Spearhead or Combat Patrols, just let us know down in the comments below. We both enjoy doing them, so just give us any ideas you guys have. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe, because that really helps us. But other than that, we'll see you in another realm.